I'm Steve Mathieson and I'm principal trombone of the RT Concert Orchestra. I was 12 when I started playing, and to be honest, when I was 5, my dad's aunt taught us to play the piano. She always said I was good at it, but by the time I was about 6, she told me not to come back because I wasn't practicing, and I just thought, I don't want to be a musician. I had 2 older brothers and they both played instruments, and when I went to high school, the high school teacher, he looked at me and I was tall, and he said, "You're playing the trombone." And I said, "I don't really want to play the trombone." He said, "You've got no choice, you're playing it." I took it home and I was quite annoyed, I seem to remember, because I had to play the trombone. I felt I was pushed into it, but after maybe 1 or 2 weeks, I just loved it, actually, and I couldn't get enough of playing it. I think when you start at first, it can be quite exciting because you're doing something very different, but as well, it's never going to sound that great to start with, and I think the more we get used to things, like we get used to walking, we get used to talking. When you're first learning to walk, it's very uncomfortable, isn't it? And you're falling around the sofa, you're holding onto the wall kind of thing. And so when you're starting an instrument as well, it feels very foreign. It feels like something very strange that you're doing. But of course, the more you do it, the easier it becomes. It becomes more part of you. I played with the school concert band once. I remember we played the 12 Days of Christmas, and my brother, he played bassoon, and he was sitting next to me, and I had this little trombone solo to play. I think it was... and my knees were shaking, and I didn't know when to play, and I remember my brother knocked my foot. He tapped my foot like, "No!" You know, it's an exciting thing to get to play with other people. You really feel that you're part of something, so it does feel very inclusive. I think it takes a little bit of time to get used to the idea of counting, because of course when you're playing on your own, you're just playing your part, yes? And then when you're suddenly playing an orchestra or playing a little group, it's like, just like the 12 Days of Christmas. It's a difficult thing when you first start playing in a band, because of course every instrument doesn't play all the time. So, like, for instance, I might be playing something and maybe I might have 4 bars rest, yes? So, and if there was 4 beats in a bar, I might have to sit there and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4. It's like a jigsaw kind of thing, and your piece fits, and your piece is very important, but you've got to put it in at the right time. The trombone, it can be a lot of fun to play. I felt a sort of flow playing my instrument. It was once, again, I was at high school, and we did this tune called Basin Street Blues. It's a nice piece, actually, and it was a trombone solo. And, of course, when I first got it, I couldn't play it at all, but it really influenced me to really want to play it. I wanted to show that I could do it. It was like the carrot and the stick. I saw the carrot, and it's like, that's what I want. So I worked really hard for it, and I stood up, and it was an exciting thing because I could actually play it, and I think people were looking thinking, oh, he can actually play a bit. But yeah, again, like my knees were knocking together, I was like so nervous, but I mean, that's part of the fun of it. It's good to go outside your comfort zone and actually do something that makes you feel alive. It was great times, really. The trombone, I would say, is very versatile, so it's often used in classical music, it's used in a lot of film music, often in pop and rock. You might have a trombone or a brass section. It's used in jazz, so there's lots of great opportunities to play the trombone in lots of different styles. The trombone's very close to the human voice, so just as you would sing something that might be very beautiful and tender, or you might sing something that might be exciting or show anguish or whatever, I think that on the trombone you can also express that. Maybe you can't use the words, but you can also get the emotions out. This is from a piece called Arthur Pryor's Fantastic Polka, and it sort of shows a real brilliance at the start of the piece. This is a beautiful song, actually. I really love, especially, there's a singer, he's dead now, but Frank Sinatra, I love his version. He sings In the Wee Small Hours of the Morning, and it's about this person that he's finished with his girlfriend, or his girlfriend's finished with him, and he's kind of lying awake at night thinking about, he always feels sad in the wee small hours of the morning. just really taking a normal breath. I mean, we all breathe. We're all experts at breathing. So when you take a breath in the trombone, it's just like a normal breath. You know, when sometimes we all go to the doctor's and he sticks that stethoscope on our chest and he says, can you take a deep breath? And then that's all you need to do as far as the physicality of it. I suppose there's so many different styles of playing. My favourite is an American in the New York Philharmonic, Joseph Alessi. I think as a trombone soloist, I think he's a fantastic player. But there's lots of great players in jazz and lots of different styles of jazz. There's players like J.J. Johnson, like Bill Watrous. So yeah, there's lots of different styles. I think that's a great thing about the trombone, that it's used in so many different genres and styles of music that there's no one thing that you just have to like. For instance, in the film Star Wars, this is Darth Vader's theme, and when this comes on, this is always played by the trombone, sometimes the French horns too. I really like it. It's a great thing in the Star Wars films as well, because sometimes you look at the film and it looks all quite innocent, but then you hear the start of this theme and suddenly you're thinking, something's going to happen, something dark's going to happen. Even though that person's not on screen, you know they're present because of the theme tune. I think kids should play the trombone because it's a really fun thing to do, and it's kind of one of those things, the more you put into it, the more you get out of it, of course. So if you do practice it regularly, and certainly when you're first starting, it doesn't take much work to actually get quite good. Yes, so if you could dedicate yourself to 15, 20 minutes of practice every day, at the start, you can really see big benefits. It's a great thing because like you're growing something, like growing a flower in your garden. The more you water it, the more you practice it, the better you get at it. And then there's a real feeling of satisfaction that you've really achieved something. And it's a great way as well, actually, to express yourself in every daily life. There's not always a chance to sometimes say how you feel or whatever. And I think that often when you go and practice or you play a concert, sometimes you come away thinking, wow, that was great, you know. So that's what I really like about it.